Sorry. Good evening. I would like to welcome everyone to our November 4th, 2025 Little Rock City Board of Directors meeting. We would like to welcome those that are in attendance as well as those watching and streaming online. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Director Miller, Director Richardson, Director Webb, Director Peck, Director Hines,
Present.
Director Lewis, Director Campuris, Director Phillips, Director Adcock, Vice Mayor Wyrick, Mayor Scott.
Present. We'll now have an invocation from Director Hines.
Please bow and pray with me. Dear Lord, we come here today to take care of the business of the people of Little Rock, its citizens, those who work, live, and play here. Please watch over us tonight and let us seek your will in all that we do. Please protect our first responders, our city employees that work in the public right-of-ways, fixing our streets and picking up our trash. Keep them safe and in your protection. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Members of the board, we have a proclamation and then we'll do a retirement ceremony here shortly. Our proclamation, whereas the month of November is recognized nationally as Family Court Awareness, and those who are part of Family Court, please join us. Family Court Awareness Month, a time dedicated to raising awareness about the vital importance of a family court system that prioritizes the safety and well-being of children above all else. And whereas the Family Court Awareness Month Committee works to educate the public and legal professionals on the need for family court practices that reflect evidence-based research and trauma-informed approaches, ensuring that decisions made in courtrooms protect children from harm. And whereas the mission of the Family Court Awareness Month is driven by a commitment to prevent strategies affecting children who have been placed in unsafe environments while honoring those whose lives have been lost because of system failures. And whereas it is essential to provide ongoing empirically based education and training for judges, attorneys, and family court professionals on issues such as domestic violence, child abuse, coercive control, and the lasting impact of trauma. Whereas by promoting awareness, collaboration, and accountability within the family court system, our community can help ensure that all children are protected, supported, and allowed to grow up in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. Now, therefore, I, Frank Scott Jr., Mayor of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, do hereby proclaim November 2025 as Family Court Awareness Month.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, good evening. My name is Dr. Dominica Sweeto. I am living through family court for almost 10 years with no resolution, nothing but harm towards myself and my children. We stand here year after year with the same proclamation and unfortunately echoing the same message and no realistic changes. Unfortunately, most of the people that support us aren't even here today. despite being aware of this being, proclaimed, we feel like there is not much support. There are lives that have been lost that are completely unnecessary. There are people who are being traumatized, who are being re-victimized. We request that change take place, that people listen to us, listen to evidence-based guidelines. In medicine, when there is evidence-based practice and guidelines and we don't follow that, that's called malpractice. In family court, that's called normal practice. We request that that change for the safety of us and our children and for a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Members of the board, today we have opportunity. We'll ask Ms. Linda Brown to please come join us. Let's give her a round of applause. Ms. Linda has been with the city of Little Rock through the court system, environmental court, for many, many years, and is now sharing her service and her leadership. You smiling like that? Her service to the city of Little Rock and sacrifice, and we're so grateful for her. And a part of the retirement ceremony, as you know, is that we provide anyone who retires from the city of Little Rock with such tenure as Ms. Brown, that we present them with a retirement medallion, and we want to present her today. Let's give her a round of applause. She is, and her family, because we're family friends, they said, well, he's going to be late, and I was on time. I want to make sure for the record.
I didn't realize I was going to have to speak, but I just wanted to say that I've enjoyed my tenure here with the City of Little Rock. I started in traffic court, but now I'm part of environmental family, and it's been wonderful. And I just want to thank everyone that helped me along the way, encouraged me, or just gave me a chance. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a photo. Do you plan on visiting the new court?
Yes.
Here you go. Thank you. Let's give another round of applause. All right, got some housekeeping to do. We had 3 modifications for today's agenda, which is 2 additions, as well as the addition would be M1 and M2, and a
Mayor, motion that we add M1 and M2 to our consent agenda and defer Resolution 10 till November 18th.
All right, there's a motion to add M1 and M2 to the agenda and defer resolution number 10. There's a motion and there's a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Before we go to the consent agenda, those who were here to listen, resolution number 10, no need to stay. I know there may be some people who was here for that. And then Vice Mayor Wyrick has a comment.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Tuesday, I gave notice to the board that my intentions for tonight were to rescind the gardens application. And what happened, if you remember, was that there was an appeal for the application, and it came before the board, and we had a 5-3 vote. And so there was no action taken on the Planning Commission's approval of the conditional use permit. So last Tuesday, I made notice that we were going to put that on the agenda tonight to rescind the vote. It was properly made. It was given to us, the language by the city attorney. But there was a caveat that said, unless circumstances change. And so what happened was, on the 31st, the applicant closed the property. So that was circumstances changed. And so I've asked Mr. Carpenter if there are next steps. He says there's not next steps, but I do have a question. And there's a lot of neighborhood folks here tonight that we're looking forward to the vote to rescind the application tonight. So we gave notice on the 28th. The applicant closed on the 31st. So could they have closed prior to that, and then we would not have heard the application here at the board? That was the question that was given from the neighborhood.
They could have closed prior to the 31st, but
No,
the application would have to have been heard by the board
Still would have been heard.
because there was an appeal.
So we had a notice that was given on Tuesday. So that's a proper notice, and that's part of the process. So how can that closing of the property prevent us from rescinding the application?
Because under the rule, if there has been a change in circumstances based upon the initial vote, you can't rescind the motion. You can't rescind the resolution. You can't rescind the action. And, you know, when people decide to close on property is a personal decision that's very highly protected, particularly under the Arkansas Constitution.
Okay. So I guess my last question is, we have still three neighborhoods that are very distressed about a group home moving in next to another group home. What actions can they take? If the board has no action, and I think that's what you said, what action do they have?
You still have a 30-day period from the time that the resolution was passed to refer it for a vote. It is a percentage of the number of all the votes that were cast for the office of mayor in the previous election. And what I can't remember if it's 15 or 35% of that, because I know it's 35 for a removal petition because that's come up recently. I think it's 15% of all the votes that were cast for mayor. And then that would have to be submitted to the clerk's office by the 20th. I think it's the 20th. The meeting was the 20th. Was it the 21st? So 30 days would be the 20th of
So
November.
you're saying that the community would have to come together with a petition?
Yes, so they would have to do that. And then, you know, if there's a referendum, it's how the referendum vote turns out.
Okay. I think that's all my questions. I think Antoine had some comments.
Director Phillips?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director Wyrick. And Tom, just to make sure that we're clear on that process, when you say a referendum and a percentage of the people who voted in the last mayoral election, I think I understand what you mean, but I want to make sure the public understands, what does that mean practically that they would have to do in what is now less than 30 days?
Assume that there was 100,000 votes in the last mayoral election. There weren't, but it makes it easier for me. And 15% is the number they would have to come up with 15,000 signatures. If there were 50,000, that's going to be around 7,500. And it's all candidates that ran for the office of mayor. So it's not just what Mayor Scott got, but any opponents that he may have had. And you add those together, and then the statute has a percentage in it. And then you can do a referendum petition to repeal the action.
And so they got to get the signatures from everyone in the city of Little Rock and then get them to the county city clerk. And then those have to be verified by November 20th.
No, they have to get them to the city clerk by November the 20th. She's given 10 days to verify them, if I remember correctly. And then if she's got sufficient signatures, she reports that to the board, and the board sets an election. Now, the election is going to be determined in accordance with the new statute on special elections, and I'd have to look at that again.
No, I understand that. I just wanted to be clear to the folks that are here that on the process, that they would need to come together, go get a X number of signatures from people throughout the city of Little Rock, and then turn that into Allison, and by November 20th, and then there is a process that happens at that point. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So for the folks who live in that neighborhood, I want y'all to know what that process is. And I understand that's a heavy lift.
Yes.
But I just wanted to make sure that we was clear on what the lift is if you decided to go forward with that effort. And if I understood Director Wyrick correctly in her questioning, when they closed on the property, what we could have done up here was
Cut off.
cut off. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that our residents understood where we are in the process. And I understand that's probably frustrating to some of you, but I just wanted to make sure that the information was clear. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Any more questions or concerns before we go to consent agenda? All right. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the consent agenda along with M1 and M2.
A resolution authorizes the city manager to utilize Redstone Construction Group Incorporated and McGeorge Contracting Company Incorporated, doing business as Cranford Construction Company, from the Arkansas Department of Transportation active list of suppliers and bid prices in an amount not to exceed $300,000 for the purchase of hot mix asphalt in bulk for the Public Works Department and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the mayor to accept for municipal purposes permanent construction easements, right-of-way dedications, and fee simple acquisitions, and to authorize the city manager to acquire temporary construction easements as needed to complete the construction of the Bowman Road Phase 2 project and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a one-year contract extension with the Tree Marshal as primary contractor and Looks Great Services of Mississippi Incorporated as secondary contractor in an amount not to exceed $250,000 for tree removal and tree trimming services on an as-needed basis within the city of Little Rock and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Little Rock Convention and Visitors Bureau for the continued management and operation of the Little Rock River Market for a 12-month period beginning January 1, 2026, and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Cigna Health and Life Insurance Company in an amount not to exceed $20 million to provide employee group health insurance for the period beginning January 1, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, to repeal Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number Resolution number 16,836, October 6, 2025, and Resolution number 16,837, October 6, 2025, regarding the administration and reinsurance of a partially self-funded employee group health plan and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with ServPro Cleaning, Restoration, and Construction in an amount not to exceed $50,000 to provide water restoration, cleaning, and renovation services at Fire Station 19 and for other purposes. A resolution to fill 2 vacancies on the Board of Commissioners for the Yorkwood Recreational Improvement District Number 3 and for other purposes. A resolution to create the Heights Business Association Temporary Entertainment District for the dates of November 9th, 2025, November 20th, 2025, and December 18th, 2025, and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into agreements with Oakley Fertilizer Incorporated as primary vendor and Central Salt LLC as secondary vendor for the purchase of bulk salt materials on an as-needed basis with the city of Little Rock in an amount not to exceed $350,000 per contract, to authorize the city manager to execute contracts for the purchase of rock salt in bulk for the remainder of 2025, to authorize the city manager to execute contracts for the purchase of rock salt in bulk for 2026, and for other purposes. That concludes the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second before we take the vote. Director Campiris.
in the land of always complaining about something, I want to compliment our HR department and our representatives who do our insurance about number 5. They did a good job of looking at the market, negotiating for us. And if you look back, and I hope that they will come back up and talk about it, since they took over the consulting work for our insurance, our cost, I think, has gone up 1% from when they started taking over. So they've done a phenomenal job. One day, I hope we will get to self-insured, as I've said in the past, but for right now, I think we're in good hands. But I think that we need to congratulate them for a job well done, and it's a nice thing that'll help you with the budget.
It definitely will help us with the budget to get us there, and definitely share our appreciation both to our human resources team and JTS for getting us to this point. Members of the board, as Director Kapira shared, and we are remaining with a fully insured plan versus a self-insured plan due to the market, and we're grateful that we were able not to step into some fiscal negativity if we would have did that, and we can talk through details later when we do a later presentation, but just kudos again to our HR department and JTS. Yeah, it's a big portion on when we can have our next budget meeting. That this plays a pivotal role. There's a motion, a second on the floor. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Before we go to group items, Director Adcock, did you have your hand up? All right, yes, ma'am. Do we? Yes, citizen communication, sorry. Thank you, Director Phillips. Mr. Phillip, Reverend Bryant, citizens communication. Yes, sir. And you got, and I'm not saying this because you, but sometimes people forget. You have
I don't see a clock. I don't see a clock.
Oh, it's one. It's one.
Well, we need to see it. Greetings. I live on 6301 Shadybrook Drive. Right next to me is some property that belongs to the city. And the house next to that is 6217. And so that piece of property that's next to me was going to be a street. They're going to put a street through there. But the city has abandoned that property. The city has taken that property and thrown it in the garbage can. All right? So I've been the husbandry of that property. I could, it really is domain to me spiritually, but legally the city still owns it. And I want the city to give me that property. It's about 40 feet wide, maybe 250 feet long, because at the end of it is a barbed wire fence. And a man got some acreage and some cows back there. So the city cannot build a street there. And I've been over there 2 years, and the people before me was taking care of that piece of property. And the people at 6217, he only cuts his property. I cut all the property. I keep it clean. I pick up trash. I cut it, I rake the leaves, because it's not next door to my property. And so I have been authority over that property because the city does not want the property. They can't do anything with it. So I want this board to give me that piece of property. I went and talked to the other people over here, and they said, Philip, you can get the property, go through the process. You got to get a surveyor, you got to pay him to this, you got to pay people to do this, and you got to get signatures here, signatures there, and then we go through the process. And I'm like, I don't need to pay any money. I'm taking care of the property already. The city don't want the property. So I'm asking this board to give me the property because it's my property already spiritually. It's domain to me. But legally, if I want to put a big garden there and somebody from the city say you can't do that because it's city property, I don't want to get in a fight with the city. If I build a pen and put a billy goat back there and the city say you can't do that, I don't want to get in a fight with the city. I love the city, and I think the city loves me a little bit anyhow. So I'm asking that you give me that property. Okay? That's all I'm here for. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Brian.
God bless you all.
God bless you. Brad, if you'll just get Mr. Bryan's contact information.
with this gentleman here?
Yes. Right there. Brad not here? Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. I'm like, that's not Brad. Ms. Gail Washington.
My name is Gail Washington. I think BJ asked some of the questions. I need some more figures. So you're saying that our little neighborhood of Pecan Lake has to go out and get 8,000 signatures in order to bring the petition? Is that what you said?
So, Ms. Washington, this portion is for you to just to speak to us. The board isn't
Okay.
gonna go back and forth answering questions. However, what we'll do is we'll ask the city attorney, if you'll ask Lynette, city attorney, just to draft whatever you just shared earlier, so we can get that. They wanna have that in writing, so they.
Could we
know.
have the ordinances that he quoted earlier also, all
We'll
of
get you a
that?
brief.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you an email brief, but, city attorney, if we could have that as quickly as possible. I know it may not happen tonight, but definitely first thing in the morning since the clock is ticking.
If Lynette's here on the front row, if you'll give her your name and address, we'll get it to you tomorrow. And if you have email, we'll get it to you even quicker.
All right. Ms. Sherry Enoch.
Good evening to everybody. My name is Sherry Enoch. I am a 20-plus year resident of Pecan Lake. I am also a commissioner on our improvement district. I became a commissioner in 2021 when our number of commissioners was increased from 3 to 5. I have a concern, and the reason why I'm here before the board now is regarding Resolution 16839 that was approved by this board back on October 6th, I believe, that basically was to replace a commissioner that was perceived to be term limited and add a Ms. Kim Collier as a commissioner for our improvement district. I am asking the board to rescind that resolution. I did email my concern in detail to the board members last Friday, sent it to you electronically, but I do have it in written form. And can I give it to you to dispense to them? I don't know, did anyone have an opportunity to read that? Okay, and I don't know if a question was in order, but let me give this to you. It's about a 4-minute read, so I didn't want to read it all in detail, especially for those who have already read it. But I do want to hit the highlights as to why I am requesting that the board rescind that resolution, adding Ms. Collier as a commissioner to our Improvement District Board. And I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights as to why I do want you to rescind it. I know you can't necessarily read all of that detail right now, but I'm giving it to you so that you can read it when you get an opportunity to read it. I'm presupposing that if it is brought back for rediscussion to possibly rescind, that'll be a discussion between all of you guys. So you pretty much have the backstory and all the detail. But the reason why I have the position that I do, that it needs to be rescinded, is because, first of all, the information, and I'm bending down to read, so let me push this down. The information, the city board decision, the information that the city board decision was based on was, is that for me?
Yes, ma'am, you only get 3 minutes.
Oh, is it over?
Yes, ma'am. But the good thing is you gave us all this.
Yes, I gave you that. And
And then
that
also,
was a quick 3
and
minutes.
then also get Miss Lynette's, phone number too, because she'll help you with the rescinding process, because since it happened on
Mayor,
October sixth.
We're actually already on this because of Director Wyrick,
Okay,
and, we're setting it up.
okay,
Okay.
sure. All right, Mr.
So-
Wire?
Okay, and I was gonna bring it up that, I had spoken to Mr. Carpenter earlier, and then Sherry Ms. Enoch sent the letter to Tom, so, it's in his hands, and they're working on it, so wanted to let you know that.
You cannot, but what I would say is, they're working on it, as they both have shared. If you'll get Miss Lynette's phone number, you'll get a whole lot more information than right now.
Give
All
me
right.
yours too, so we can call you tomorrow.
If anybody wants Miss Lynette's number on the legal stuff, she's right there. All right. Mr. Robert Toll?
How's it going, guys? So I have to kind of redo this a little bit because I can't really ask questions, but so I am for Pecan Lake against the gardens going through. Part of my thing that I was going to say, I think we were giving wrong information during the first vote that the mayor could vote. That's what what our HOA said, that she said she talked to Mr. Carpenter that you were able to vote and you didn't get to vote. So in standard kind of fashion, you would think that everybody would get to revote if somebody wasn't allowed to vote that was sitting here that could have turned the tides of the vote. Because they purchased a property really don't matter. They can purchase the property and have the property. Doesn't mean they have to use it for that facility. I mean, that's the truth. They can use it for something else, but less than a mile away, 1 mile away across from the salvage yard, there's a huge lot that can be fined for that. It's fine if it's not in the front of our neighborhood. That's it. We don't care that they're doing it for those people that need to be there. We don't care about that. We care about it being in our neighborhood, right at the front, right at the door. And even if you go just a little bit farther, there's places that sold for $2.5 million. I hear that they bought it for $4 million. So you telling me that down the street, $2.5 million, but they want to come in to our neighborhood for $4 million? That just don't seem right. So I understand that there is all of these strange bylaws, and if it's all right, I would love to have copies of them because this don't make no sense. If you got 8 people in here, 5 votes, and then there's some type of strange, glue that says, oh, you got to have 6, but this guy can't vote, this person can't vote, but this one hasn't been here since 2024, they shouldn't be on the list. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this doesn't seem right by the people, and honestly seems like we got railroaded. And I'm just saying, I don't know what we can do. I don't know how we can do it, but I don't think it should stop here. I mean, just because they purchased it. I purchased property before. I tried to get it zoned commercial. Y'all said, hell no. Okay? And one person complained, you didn't get it. We had like 40 people complain. So for us to have to go get 15,000 signatures, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd for us to have to do that. So, also, none of us were notified. We need to know the rules of notification because I live 1 mile from that church. I didn't get a letter. I got something from my HOA. I talked to 8 neighbors on Herndon Road. They did not get a letter. People down on Tall Timber, people down on, I don't know what the street is, but they didn't get it. They didn't get it.
Mr. Toll, if you'll, Brad, if you'll get Mr. Toll's information on the notification, and then Mr. Toll, if you'll also get Ms. Lynette, she'll let you know the legal rules on. I know there was some.
He can get me too, Mayor.
Oh, you too. I was just trying to help you out.
It'd be real easy. Just give me a call. I'll tell you.
Yeah. All right. All right. Charity Smith Allen.
Good evening
Yes, ma'am.
to the mayor and members of the community. I'm here to address one issue of concern for me. The proposed mental health facility will be adjacent to a school bus stop. This is an established school bus stop, and I believe that the safety of little children must be your utmost concern. Many times, children walk to a bus stop and stay at a bus stop unsupervised. They depend on the citizens and everybody else to protect them. Unfamiliar people in the neighborhood may cause alarm. Please make sure that you revisit this issue because the safety of little children is my utmost concern. I am a lifetime educator, and I believe that you should do everything humanly possible when you know that little children will be at a bus stop, often in dark hours. It's going to be changing soon. It's going to be nighttime for little children. Please revisit this at all costs. Thank you.
State Representative Fred Allen.
First of all, I want to say thank you all for giving me this opportunity to come in here and speak tonight. For those of you who don't know, I don't hear sound pretty good. I don't hear sound well, so don't sound buzzer. I would like to say that I'm here to support the people of Pecan Lake. This part of my state representative district, and I would like to go on record opposing this. And I know the guidelines that you all set forward for them to move on tonight. It's a tall order. It's very difficult for the people in my neighborhood and the people in the Pecan Lake area to come up with those kind of signatures. Virtually impossible. It cannot happen. So I will ask you all to explore every avenue to make sure that this project gets back in front of the City Board of Directors and you all can make a decision that would be in the best interest of all parties involved, and at least let the people in Pecan Lake, let their voices be heard, because right now, just sitting here, they're hopeless, they're helpless, and when somebody is hopeless and helpless, it's not a good position to be in. And I've been in those positions before in my life. So Mayor, I appeal to you all to listen to the people in Pecan Lake and respond to them in a positive manner. Thank you all for allowing me an opportunity to come forward tonight.
Bernard Mitchell.
Good evening, Mayor and the board and directors. I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak. First of all, I'd like to thank the board members that supported their constituents and realize that we do have a voice. And I want to make sure that they understand that when the garden presented their proposal to us, they misstated factual information about where their current Sherwood location is located in a neighborhood. If you visit that location, it's right on 107. To get to that location, you have to go through the church parking lot, go down into a little cul-de-sac, and you can't even see the sign of the business. So therefore, up that corridor is, 20 or 30 commercial businesses is located, high traffic area. That is not a residential area as they stated and their attorney has stated. So they gave misinformation in regards to what they were trying to do and what they were going to do. So I just ask that the board reconsider their decision and so we can move forward and protect our neighborhood and our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Ed Bullington.
Good afternoon. My name is Ed Bullington in Pecan Lake. I'm not going to reiterate all that, but the comment from the attorney was that if there was a change in circumstances, that just seems really ambiguous to me because I don't know what those are. I'm only missing closing. Well, if closing, while the board is still in the process of deciding, as he stated last week with a notice of appeal, then it seems to me like that if the planning commission voted way back in whenever it was, they could close on that property and end the appeal to the Little Rock Board. So if closing ends the process, it could happen anytime, not just at that point where we are. My comment is, it's an ambiguous explanation, and if we're going to use closing as a basis for it, then that could have happened anywhere, stopping the appeal to the board, not just now, but 2 or 3 months ago. Seems awful unfair to me.
I believe that's all of our citizens' communication. Madam Clerk, you would please read the group items for the first time? Director Phillips?
Thank you, Mayor. And I wanted to follow up on the last comment, just so we get clarity from the city attorney on that. I know that we received the email on that question, so, and I know y'all are not allowed to ask questions, but we can. So I'm going to. So, Mr. Attorney, as it relates to the point that was just made, can you explain why a closing constitutes a change in circumstance?
Well, you're going to have to look at each circumstance on its own facts. The claim is that if the Planning Commission had approved it and he closed on the property, then this board couldn't consider it. That's not accurate. This board could have considered and could have rejected it. Virtually, I'm not going to say what percentage, I imagine Brad can give you a better one, but most of your planning decisions come to you not by the applicant who lives there or works there, but by somebody who's buying the property. And most of those purchase agreements are contingent upon getting the zoning approved. And then once the zoning is approved, the parties go ahead and they close. This particular individual has taken a bit of a challenge, because should they come up with the number of signatures, then there will be an ability to refer this matter to the people, and if it's voted down, they're going to own the property and use it for something else, because they won't be able to use it for a mental health or developmentally challenged home to assist people. But what happened in this case is that their closing occurred before any motion could be heard, and the motion is not ripe and cannot be heard if there has been that change in circumstances.
And I understand, and I think what the people are wondering, and I get the explanation, so I appreciate it, is that why does the closing itself equal a change in circumstance?
Because the purchaser of the property changed their circumstances from having a potential purchase to having an actual purchase based upon the actions of the board in granting the zoning.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Mr. Attorney. That's all. I just wanted to clarify that, Mayor. Thank you.
And I guess since we're clarifying things, City Attorney, if you'll share with everyone, I know there's been some confusion, but I just want to make sure we set the record straight when and when I cannot vote.
You can only vote to break a tie. At the time that the City Manager Enabling Act was passed, if a veto was given to the mayor, and this is 1989, the mayor could only vote to break a tie by statute. In 2007, 2 statutes were written that were in conflict. One dealt with the City Manager Enabling Act, and it had language at that time that said the mayor could vote to pass a measure. After that, the legislature changed the act to say only vote to break a tie. The most recent was in 2019, which expressly changed the provision from the City Manager Enabling Act to say that if there is a vote, the mayor can only vote, a veto, the mayor can only vote to change a tie. So the change in statute by the legislature effectively changed ours.
Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, if you would please recall the grouped items.
An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $498,413.86 for the participation of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into an amendment with AT&T Enterprises LLC in an amount not to exceed $700,000 for AT&T hosted Vesta 911 service telephone system utilized by the city's Emergency Communications Department as authorized by the passage of Little Rock, Arkansas Resolution Number 21,900, that's ordinance number 21,989, May 4th, 2021, and for other purposes, first reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, second reading.
An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $498,413.86 for the participation of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract amendment with AT&T Enterprises LLC in an amount not to exceed $700,000 for the AT&T hosted Vesta 911 service telephone system utilized by the city's Emergency Communications Department as authorized by the passage of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 21,989, May 4th, 2021, second reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, third reading.
An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $498,413.86 for the participation of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract amendment with AT&T Enterprises LLC in an amount not to exceed $700,000 for AT&T hosted Vesta 911 service telephone system utilized by the city's Emergency Communications Department as authorized by the passage of Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 21,989, May 4th, 2021, third and final reading.
Members of the board, we've had three readings. Are there any questions? Director Capires?
Mr. Mayor, would you, and this, I'm gonna vote for this, so that's not a worry, but would you ask the Municipal League or whoever, Nick, to give me over the last 3 years the amount of premiums we've paid and the amount of money that's been paid out
Yes, we'll
by
get
the
that.
Municipal League?
Yes, sir. We'll get that for you. Nick, if you'll help me with that. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Ayes have it.
And we have an emergency clause for 8.
We have an emergency clause for 8. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please, let me first open up the hearing for item number 11. Madam Clerk, would you read the ordinance for us?
An ordinance to grant a variance to Chapter 30, Section 30-43 to allow for a 52-foot wide driveway on the R2 zone property located at 2601 North University Avenue and for other purposes. First reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to grant a variance to Chapter 30, Section 30-43 to allow for a 52-foot wide driveway on the R2 zone property located at 2601 North University Avenue. Second reading.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Third and final reading.
An ordinance to grant a variance to Chapter 30, Section 30-43 to allow for a 52-foot wide driveway on the R2 zone property located at 2601 North University Avenue. Third and final reading.
Members of the board, we've had 3 readings. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Director Capires.
Brad, could you go back over this again? Because I drove out there and I'm real confused about this.
Yes, sir. Thank you. On April of 2024, a building permit was obtained for a single-family home at this location with a 3-car garage. A request was made by the homeowner for a 52-foot driveway, which was denied based on Chapter 30, Section 30-43, which says the width of a residential driveway is to be 40% of the lot's street frontage, but not to exceed 32 feet in width. Based on Section 3030 of the same chapter, quote, "Any interested person aggrieved by a decision of the administrative official of the Department of Planning and Development in administering the provisions of this article may appeal to the Board of Directors." So our staff, we asked for a deferral for this. We worked with the applicant because we were concerned that this, the Heights Tree Ordinance was not going to be complied with. They redid their site plan. We now feel that it does comply with the Heights Tree Ordinance. We've worked with our landscape specialist, Ms. Deborah Stafford. We've worked with the city arborist, Mr. Robbie Hudson, and we believe that this site plan does meet that. It still is a request for a 52-foot driveway.
But it's on a very narrow street. I mean, is this gonna be using as a parking pad or what?
I believe this is going to be just a parking pad. And if you, Ally, could you pull the?
I mean, it is, the street, the side street is a very
Yes.
thin.
This is, I believe this is going to be used for their side-by-side, but I believe the applicant is here and can probably answer that question more fully than I
He
do.
asked that question because it's, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but X Street is a narrow, little bitty street. But the tree, they are gonna put the trees in.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could the applicant come up and tell me what they're gonna do with
Yes.
the pad?
You were asking if the tree will go there?
No, I was asking, Brad tells me that y'all are gonna put the trees in. I think that's great. But the pad on X Street, is that gonna be for a parking pad?
Yes, basically. We feel like since we've been there, we don't like the idea of our guests or us having to park on University and
I agree. And
That
I
being
think this
kinda
is a good
narrow.
idea. I mean, I drive up this, I pass your house every day, so I understand the problem.
we're excited to be there. Yes, so we would just like to have that because the house, the garage into the street is not deep enough for a car to park. Like if we were to have guests over to park there and not be in X Street. So hopefully that parking pad would give an opportunity for a car to park there and not be on X or University.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Goodness, y'all make my voice shake to talk to you guys.
You made Director Computer's day. Oh, that's funny. Any questions, members of the board? Director Adcock, you had your hand up. Did you take it? All right. We'll close the public hearing. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Any questions or concerns or a motion to adjourn? Before we do a motion to adjourn, Mr. Hubbard?
Yes, sir. Members of the board, were there any questions in regards to the professional services under $50,000 document I sent you guys earlier today? No. All right, thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.